You're listening to the Six Figure Designer Podcast, where we ditch the overwhelm, attract better clients, and build a business that fits your life without chasing trends or burning out. I'm Pam Durkin, and right now I'm inviting you to join my free Rapid Referrals Challenge, a live 2-hour session where I show you exactly how to grow your design business by becoming the go-to designer everyone recommends. You'll walk away with a simple, repeatable referral system that you can use right away to change the quality of referrals you receive. Lisa said, Pam helped me get out of my own way, set clear goals, and shift how I show up in my network. I set a $300,000 income goal, and I'm already well on my way to hitting it. My promise, you'll leave with more clarity, more confidence, and a plan that actually gets results. Let's stop hoping for good clients and start attracting them on purpose. Now let's get started with this week's episode. I want to say something to you, so I want you to come and sit next to me and let's have a little conversation. I want to just say to you that I know you are so talented, and I know that you care deeply about your projects and your clients, and creatively, you've been in the best place that you've ever been. You love what you do. You love helping people create beautiful homes. But the money part, it is just not adding up. Maybe you're in a second career and you're sitting there thinking to yourself, wait a minute, I used to make a lot more money than I'm making right now. And right now I feel like I'm getting paid like a grocery clerk. I'm working my you-know-what off. I am giving my clients everything. I am giving them my all, and I love what I do. But the money isn't adding up, and I totally get that. And today, that's what we're going to be talking about and how to manage that better, because the God's honest truth is that it isn't how good you are at design when it comes to being profitable, when it comes to making real money in your design business, when it comes to paying yourself, not just every once in a while when the checking account has some cash in it, but on a regular basis, something that you can count on, income that is part of your, every week or every 2 weeks. It's something that you can count on in your business. And it all comes down to how you are positioning yourself in your business, and more importantly, who is talking you up. So if things haven't been matching up, if you're in love with what you do as a designer, the transformations that you bring to the table, how you help people, but the bank account isn't matching up to the level of time and effort and care that you're putting into everything, then it might be time to rethink your strategy. So let's talk about that gap right there. So you're doing that creative work that you love, but the financial return is just not matching up to the level of commitment that you're putting into your projects and to your clients and to everything that you're bringing to the table. And that's not necessarily your fault, because we were never really taught how to run a business. Even if you went to school for business, they don't teach you how to run a small business. Running a small business is in of itself its own little animal. And if you happen to be a creative at heart, which I know all of you are, but many of you have come from different fields, a lot of financial fields and other business fields. Even if you worked for somebody else, you weren't taught, and you didn't really learn how to run a business because you worked for somebody else. And when, I'm sure as you're running your design business day to day, you're realizing like no one prepared us for all of this, for marketing and for financial and for accounting and then doing the things we love, right? Working on projects, designing homes for people. But there's so much more to it, and it's very, very unsettling. So because we haven't been taught this skill, the first inclination that we do when we start our businesses, or even many of us have had businesses for many, many years, and this is how we've been operating, is that we just take the projects that come to us, that come through our website, that when the phone rings, somebody says, I have an opportunity. We take all those projects that just come to us in our business. And maybe as we're talking to people, we try to talk them into a bigger project, or we try to talk them out of just doing consultation, which is maybe what they're coming to us for, but we want to move them into full scope design because that's the type of work that we want to do. We want to do whole homes, or at least 3 or 4 rooms at a time. Or we hope that they're going to realize through working with us on a long-term basis that their budget isn't realistic for what they want to accomplish. And what happens is when you try to sign every prospect that calls you or contacts you, you end up taking on these projects that are, a lot of time, a lot of energy, very low on profit, and you start to feel really resentful towards the clients, towards the types of projects, even though you are bending over backwards to do everything right. So can I get an amen? Amen. Yep. There's a lot of that going on. So I don't want you to feel bad about it, but I want you to be aware of it so that we can move through this, right? And move past it to our, to your next level. So I know most of you, I'm going to say 95% of you are getting the majority of your jobs from referrals. So even if they're coming through your website or DMing you on Instagram, I bet if you track that prospect back to how they found you, how they first found you, that it's going to be through a referral or a recommendation. So I want you to be making sure that you understand where your referrals are coming from. And of course, the quality of those referrals. Are they great? But here's the thing that no one really talks about. No one really tells you. So if you're having a hard time getting the types of clients and projects that you want, you're getting referrals from the wrong people. We can't keep doing the same thing that's not working and expecting the result to be different. We are talking real talk today, and I'm sorry to break that news to you, but it is the truth. If it's not working, something's got to change. It's time to create a different approach. So my question to you is, are you getting the majority of referrals from past clients? And if so, how is that working out? Are you getting, we're not going to have 100% amazing clients all the time. So let's not be real, let's be real about that. Like, it's just the nature of the type of work that we do, but we want like 80% of our projects to be people we love to work with, types of, projects that we love to work on. Of course, we're always making money, always making money. So are you getting referrals from clients? And then how are those referrals working out for you? Are they great? Do you love the clients? Are the projects good? Are you generally happy with what's happening? Are you getting enough of them? Are they coming in at a steady rate? Are the jobs big enough? Do the clients understand about design and what design costs? Are they interested in that curated design approach? A lot of times the answer is no. that those client referrals are not coming in steady enough. The people that they're referring are not looking for a curated approach, but maybe they're looking for a way to save money on purchases, or the jobs just aren't big enough. We all want bigger jobs because it's the same amount of work. So we want to be doing multiple rooms at the same time, right? So if this is you, if you're getting your referrals from clients and you're struggling with these things, the quality, the quantity, the type of client that you're getting, then I'm going to go back and reiterate that client referrals aren't your best source for projects. And I know that's controversial because it sounds very logical that we want that clients who know us and love us will refer us to other projects, which they will. But they're just not always exactly the same as our original client. They're not, they might not want the same things. They may not appreciate design. They may not have the same budgets. They may not be the same personalities. You're assuming that when you get a referral from a client that it's almost a clone of that client. And that may or may not be the case. That's how you work through the qualification process to see if they're still a good fit. So we can't just assume that if we get a referral from a client, it's a clone of that type of client that we had previously. So if you're struggling to get enough projects, to keep the phone ringing, to get opportunities in front of you, and you're not making enough money, then client referrals aren't your best resource for new projects. We have to be figuring out another way to do this so that it takes that pressure off. Because the other thing is, as much as clients want to help us and they love us and they know us, aside from all those other reasons that I mentioned earlier, they get busy. Like they would love to help you, but they're not, you're not top of mind all the time. They have their own lives, they're doing things. So we want to be thinking about ways that we can get referrals from people who are also looking for business, who are also motivated to bring in new projects on a continual basis. So we want to be making sure that we're thinking about, are those client referrals really the place that we want to be? So what happens is if we keep referring on these client referrals, the cycle keeps repeating itself. We still have those small jobs. We have that low profit. We're doing a ton of work. And also the one issue that so many people have a hard time with, and rightfully so, I totally get it, is when you get referred by a past client, it's an automatic, I should take this job, because you don't want your client to feel like they've referred somebody and then you've turned down the project. So it makes it very, very sticky. Now, I have ways around that in my business and things that I teach in my Luxury Client Academy, but that is one of the things, one of the sticking points that I know you've run up against. So here's what designers in my coaching world are doing. They're building those intentional relationships with builders, with realtors, with vendors who are already working with your ideal client, your dream client, who are also working on projects that are happening relatively imminently, either now or a few months from now. So there's a lot more activity, a lot more volume, and the steadiness is there. So I am running another Rapid Referrals Challenge, and we're going to be talking about how you can start to leverage these relationships to even out those inquiries in your business, those opportunities where you can start to get better opportunities for bigger projects on a more regular basis. So we're going to be talking about in just a few hours during this challenge who you should be connecting with and how that will translate into quicker sales, into bigger projects, and into more aligned clients, clients who are expecting to pay for a curated approach from a professional designer. We're also going to be talking about, I'm going to help you craft what you should say to these key people, because a lot of times we just don't know how to start that conversation, or we don't want to be pushy, or we don't want to bother people. But I'm going to teach you how to approach it in a way that feels really good to you, because it's coming from a position of helpfulness and showing off how your skills can really help this person level up their business, level up their client experience, and make an incredible team approach in their own business. And then we're going to talk about how you can turn this into a simple system that brings about those better projects, those bigger fees, and a lot more peace of mind for yourself. So I call that my referral machine, because once it starts rolling down the tracks, it starts rolling and it just keeps working. It brings in business on a continual basis. So if you're thinking to yourself, my business is really struggling, or I'm really struggling right now, I'm nearing the end of my rope. I need to make this work. I want to make this design business successful. I love what I do. I just need to be profitable. We have to get this going, right? It's time. Then you need to listen up. And I want you to know you're not broken. You're not underqualified. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just missing a couple pieces of the puzzle, and I want to help you find them. I would love to help you find them. So let's stop that spinning and that stress, and let's start building something really incredible and really tangible for you and your business, because I know that you deserve to make money and to be profitable and to love what you do and to share your gift with the world. And I want you to be proud of what you're charging. I don't want you to feel like you have to continually pull back your fees so that you can get the job, right? I want you to be really confident in why you're charging what you're charging. And you deserve that. You deserve that type of business. So I want to invite you to join the Rapid Referrals Challenge that's happening on September 10th. So it's coming up in just a few weeks at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I promise you, these few hours are going to be completely transformational for you, how you approach business, how you approach getting projects, and how you approach the success of your business. So go ahead and sign up and get your seat in the Rapid Referrals Challenge for September 10th. I would love, love, love to see you there. And I was so happy to sit and chat with you today. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Talk to you soon. Take care.